Thanks for staying with us. We take you back to our main focus, of course, being politics, with the local government elections just days away, with just 3 days to go. And politicians have been out and about pushing for votes. Let's take a look now at what the major talking points are as we really start counting the hours till the start of voting. I'm joined virtually by eNCA's election analyst, Wayne Sussman. Wayne, thank you so much for joining us. Before we look at the strategic places that the political parties have decided to spend their last campaigning moments, I just want to go back to the two stories that we had up front. We heard from the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa saying we're going to talk less and do more to improve the lives of our people. Then we had the DA with their final push in Cape Town saying their main selling point is a well-run municipality. Nothing new from the two major parties. Do you think the reworking of well-worn platforms for these elections, do you think it's worked for those two parties this time round?
Well, first of all, they are the two largest parties, so they would be confident that messaging they've used in past campaigns would possibly work again. But it has certainly been tougher this time round. We know that this is a unique election where both of the bigger parties going into this election are more vulnerable than they'd like to be. But clearly, the ANC are happy with the messaging they're using. They're happy with the fact that President Ramaphosa is the front and center of this campaign. That's why he's been he's been at many campaign stops today, because the ANC is confident that with him at the head of the ticket, they'll be able to do much better than the polls currently suggest. And when one hears the DA's mayoral candidate in the city of Cape Town, they're saying that things are not perfect, but that things can get better, and that the DA is a party which can govern better than the ANC or any other parties can.
So basically the message from both is just stick with us, we will do better, just give us another chance. Let's look now at the places where these parties decided to spend their last campaigning hours, as it were. We saw both the ANC and the EFF with rallies in Katlehong, in Kuruleni today. Why are the big guns of these parties paying visits to that specific spot just before the elections?
This is fascinating because in May of 2021, we had a by-election in Katlehong, which the ANC won very comfortably. And I noticed earlier in the week that the EFF's final election rally was going to be in Katlehong. And then a few hours later, I noticed that the ANC's final Ekurhuleni segment would be in Katlehong. And again, there's no clear answer here. Either the ANC are feeling very bullish about a strong victory in Ekurhuleni. They're trying to shore up their base, go to the areas which are heavily favorable to the party and make sure those supporters come out on Monday. Or the party is deeply concerned. They're deeply concerned that a party like the EFF or some other parties in Ekurhuleni are making inroads. And this is what's fascinating at this stage. Is it a sign of confidence or is it a sign of despair?
Now, if you were ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa's team, you'd be happy with either the steps that he got in or the miles that he's put on, because he also managed to visit Sasolburg today. Why the Free State municipality there at this 11th hour?
So Sasolburg's right on the Gauteng border. So as soon as you cross the border, a lot of the Free State radio stations and media houses are going to be picking up on that. But also, let's remember, in 2016, the ANC lost power in Sasolburg. I think their vote share fell by about 12 percentage points. They fell below the magical mark of 50%. And then we had a rerun of that election, of Metsimaholo, where Sasolburg is, I think at the end of 2017. And again, the ANC lost ground because the South African Communist Party, a key part of the tripartite alliance, ran on their own steam. This time round, and I think a lot of it's got to do with Cyril Ramaphosa's leadership, the South African Communist Party have come back into the ANC and they're running together. So Ramaphosa is there to try convince all those people who voted for the South African Communist Party at the end of 2017 that things are better in the ANC now. This is the new dawn. Get behind us. And again, I would think that he would want to make sure that there's an outright win in Metsimaholo come Monday. But as we've seen in the last two elections, the ANC keep falling further below from that magical mark of 50% plus one.
I've got time for one more question, Wayne, and I just want to sneak one in before I let you go. It's always very interesting to see the direction or the narrative that parties take when it comes to close to people heading to the polls. In the United States, we saw an election taking place right in the midst of the COVID pandemic and the fight over to vaccine or not to vaccine. In South Africa, you have some of that as well, but at the same time, we're in the midst of rolling blackouts. In your opinion, what are some of the current events? What do you think has been the major current event that you think may or may not have an impact on how people make their mark on Monday?
Yeah, at the start of the week, I thought, where is our October surprise? Excuse another American term, where traditionally the elections in America are November and something big happens in October. And I believe the ANC is running a great campaign. Cyril Ramaphosa was in full stride across the length and breadth of this nation. But come Monday, with the return of rolling blackouts, with the return of load shedding, we know that this has negatively impacted the ANC in the past, and I would say that this has been a very difficult week for the ANC. So, look, I think we've ended this, the worst part of load shedding, but I think this has been a difficult week for the ANC, and I think voters are going to be energized on this issue of the fact that they want a stable energy supply. And I think the ANC is the party which is most likely to bear the brunt of it.
Fascinating insight there. Thank you so much, Wayne Sussman, eNCA election analyst. I'm sure you'll see far more of him as we edge ever closer to those polls on Monday.